Alright, and we're back, my friends. Thank you for standing by and let me take a short break. And welcome to Smash TV, Super Smash TV on the Super Nintendo. We're going to play this for a couple hours. This will probably be the way we finish out the stream. If something goes ridiculously well and I finish the game or something like that, probably not going to happen. But if that does somehow happen, then we may do a third thing also. My camera is kind of weird. I can't get centered. I keep drifting out of frame. We were lost without you, Sir Rack of Lamb says. Well, I don't like to hear that you were lost, but I do like to hear that I'm valued. Conga Line Monkey, welcome in, Conga. Streaming at such an unearthly hour. I am. Every now and then we get an early stream, and today is one of those rare days. Loyal to Soil, great to see you. How's your day going? Pretty well. Haven't done a whole lot today. I streamed last night, I went to bed, I woke up, I'm streaming again, so not much has happened since the last time I was live. So you're on early, what's the special reason? Not really a special reason, per se. Jelly might be traveling to see her folks over the weekend, and so doing an earlier stream allows us to spend a little bit of time together tonight that we're not going to have available to us over the weekend. So sometimes, you know, because depending on what our other obligations are like in our schedule, shifting the stream around, not a bad idea. And it gives people a chance to be here that usually can't. And excuse me. Has its benefits. It's inconvenient. It's inconvenient for everyone who's used to the late nights, I know, and that's, you know, unfortunate, but a little bit of variety is hard to argue against. Still within that 20-hour window when the sun is down. The sun was up just barely when I started the stream, Conga. I started at 3 p.m. my time, and the sun goes down at about 4. The sun's gone by 4:30, so it was the sun was it was losing strength when the stream went live. But I don't know that I could have properly called it nighttime yet. Alright, this is not going to be a timed game, so I'll get that timer out of the way. And we'll get to it here. So this is a game, I've been playing this off and on for a while. We've had like 4 or 5 sessions of it on the stream. I've never beaten it, so it's still technically my first playthrough. I've made it to stage 3. The beginning part of stage 3. But your lives and continues are limited. So it's rough. I don't know. This is a game I honestly don't know if I will ever be able to beat it, but you know, I sure like to try. And I'm just playing on normal. There's a hard difficulty. Madness. So this is supposed to be a dual stick game. But of course we're playing on the Super NES. There are no joysticks. But they're approximated pretty well by the D-pad and the diamond layout of the 4 face buttons. Alright, it gives us 4 directional input and firing that and you know, if you're good at hitting diagonals, you actually have 8 directions. No, I want that present, but it's out of my reach. When that guy says good luck, you'll need it, he is not joking. So, yeah, we just go from room to room fighting waves of enemies, and they get progressively harder and more numerous. As we go, there's lots of power-ups in the game. It's very generous with the power-ups, though sometimes they're very difficult to reach. The power-ups are timed. That's the one unfortunate thing. Like, this game, if the power-ups worked a little differently, if it were like Contra, where you kept a power-up until you died, rather than it being sort of timed. They're not really timed. They have I think they have ammo, is what they have. They have limited ammo. But because you're always firing anyway, it feels like they're timed. If it worked like Contra, where you kept a power until you died, the game would be a lot more manageable. I'm still impressed you beat BC at an hour. Thank you, Conga. BC was a good game. That was a good recommendation, I'll say again. That was a lot of fun. Did I really beat it? I mean, we achieved the ending, but like, I assume that it's multiple loops on into infinity. I mean, I'll definitely take the victory, but at the same time, I could see that, you know, there is more to do. I could see value in potentially going back to BC. If I'm right in my assumption that it iterates on its difficulty. I need to get out of here. I like the little voice samples in this game. When your guy says bingo, though, it always reminds me of Luigi from Mario Kart 64. It doesn't sound like him, but he says bingo, ho 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 ho. And every time this guy says bingo, I hear Luigi saying it in my mind afterward. The power-ups are like that extra life. Is that extra life spawned way too close to the landmine for my comfort. Look at how long these rooms last. Let that soak in. You're in each of these rooms for a lifetime. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat, but it's very difficult to pull your eyes away from this one. The Beyblades are such a double-edged sword, right? Because they protect you from enemies, they attack enemies for you, but they also prevent you from being able to walk up to the edge of the screen. Right? I can't move where I want to move. No. BC would be nice. I don't know. I'm not too excited about the prospect of living even 100 years or so in the past. No, I missed the missiles and I lost a life. All the rooms have these like landmines, and the landmines are, from what I understand, completely random. I think that's true. But like the power-ups and collectibles can spawn on top of the landmines, obscuring them and making it a, you know, a death trap. And it's especially agonizing when an extra life spawns on top of a landmine. Which, as you almost saw, can happen. It doesn't just get close to it happening. It has, in fact, has happened to me. Maybe not close enough as to be completely unattainable, but definitely close enough as to be, for all practical purposes, unattainable. Oh. Game looks like it's a finger herder. Oh, it's I mean, it is auto fire. You just hold the direction that you're firing, so since you don't have to mash, you know, at least it has that going for it. It is very intense. The hand strain is not completely not a concern. There is potential for it, but it's definitely not as bad as it could be if you had to mash the button for every weapon. This game is a quarter annihilator. It will drain your wallets. Unless you're way better at video games than I am, which is not really hard to be. Reminds me of Walmart on Black Friday. Oh no. This is the worst weapon in the game, the peanut. I think it's supposed to be the best weapon in the game, but it betrays me so much that I can't stand it. No. I didn't really think I was going to get that bomb, but I still wanted it. Invincibility, don't mind if I do. This boss is everything your generic boss would have. This boss reminds me of Krang from the Ninja Turtles. He looks like, you know, not... He looks like Krang's human suit to me, and to some degree. And also, like, he's got like a space down there in his torso, so like that looks like where Krang's like brain could be hanging out. I don't think I'm actually safe standing along the top like that. I think he can hit me if he really wanted to. He's just being kind. Part of the reason, like, the reason I hate the peanut weapon so much is because, like, that trajectory it has makes it very difficult to fire on enemies when they get close to you. And the stage 2 boss, if we make it to him, you'll see that, like, you're kind of required to use the peanut to damage him because he's got a protective outer shell. But whenever you have it, he crowds you, and so it's really difficult to drop those onto him because of their trajectory. Like, it's not really bad with this boss because he kind of stays a little ways away from you a lot of the time, but yeah, any enemy that crowds you makes that weapon useless. I want that key. Look how long this battle's lasted. We've been here like 20 minutes. Massive, muscular mecha dude shooting lasers out of his eyes. What game is this? This is Super Smash TV. We're playing it on the SNES. He looks like Krang. Yeah, he does. He does a little bit. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Sound like I'm saying I'm glad I'm not the only one who looks like Krang. No way. This game is, I believe this game is inspired by The Running Man, the 80s action film. If you've never seen it, it's not really a great movie. It's got some cool stuff in it, but it's kind of rough in its overall quality. I haven't seen it for a while. I haven't seen it in a long while, though, so it might hold up better than I remember. Or even worse. Really like that movie, Leo says. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't seen it in a very long time. Oh, I better run. I like the prequel, Walking Boy. I love the sound of our points rising higher and higher. That's probably the best I've ever done at stage 1. We are off to a great start. It'll probably all come crashing down here, but that was for me, that was an incredibly smooth stage 1. I'm sure, like, to some degree that looked like, why does Frownie think this game's hard? He sailed through that level, and I kind of did. I love when we pick up the presents and we get fabulous prizes. We get luxury vacations and luggage sets and VCRs. You can never have too many VCRs. Top quality luggage. I get distracted trying to read what the prizes are, even though there's only like 3 or 4 possible things for them to be, and none of it matters. I get distracted trying to read it. If they remade it the same as the same storyline, I'd have to watch it. Do you mean if they remade the movie with the same storyline, or do you mean if they remade the movie closer to the book? Because I think it's one of those things where it's like it's supposedly based on a Stephen King book, but like it has nothing to do with it except the title. I think it's supposed same storyline as the movie. I think they're supposed to be related, the book and the movie, like theoretically related, but yeah, nothing but the title. Kind of like, I might be confusing that with the Lawnmower Man. I'm pretty sure that's the situation with the Lawnmower Man. That was a Stephen King story, and then the movie is nothing like it. I'm doing real bad now. Yeah, I know there is a Stephen King novel called The Running Man, but I don't know for sure that that movie is supposed to be based on it, or if they just happen to have the same title. But I think even if it is, even if the movie is supposed to be based on it, I don't think they have anything in common outside of the title. Did you ever play Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for arcade? I did not, Conga. No! I'm just completely falling to pieces. I've lost so many lives in the past 2 rooms. You see, this is how things usually go for me. About to use our first continue. Rip the 1 credit clear. He must have, Stephen King must have the record for adapted stories. I mean, he's written so much stuff. Where are all the extra lives? Nowhere.
10 seconds. Contestant 1.
I press and start. It just took a while for it to take. I don't know. My start button on my SNES controller is really mushy. Thank you for sharing that, Sir Rack of Lamb. I'm not going to be able to read it for quite a while, though. That's a... I'm having trouble with like 3-word sentences, much less a paragraph. But I do appreciate it. I will check it out. The worst. Just the worst. RoboCop. Yeah, it's got, this guy's got RoboCop references in it too. I don't know. It says, I'd buy that for $1. No, I was a millimeter away from the Beyblades. It's amazing. It's amazing that Super Nintendo doesn't just burst into flame with all of this stuff going on the screen. Yeah, but, I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure there isn't smoke coming out of it. This is what it's like. It's just bleeding lives, the game. I'm stuck in the corner. I know it's foolish to let myself get stuck into a corner, but it's just like you get overwhelmed and you just want to retreat, and that's the only place to retreat to. Like, if I were skilled at holding the center, I'd have a much better life. Big prizes. I'm pretty sure that the score really has nothing to do with anything. I don't think you get extra lives or continues in relation to your score. I think the score is there just to be score. I do know that you want to collect the keys. There's like a... I don't really know the details of the mechanics, but there's like a true ending situation where you want to make sure you collect a lot of keys while you're playing. Oh, I thought I could sneak past that mine. I don't know why I thought that. It was clearly too close to the wall, but... I wanted to believe it wasn't. Nobody puts Frownie in a corner. If only that were true. If only that were true. You would think that I could hang out in the room as a chance to pause and read the chat, but if you stay in a room after you've cleared all the enemies, it sends in a thing to kill you. The game really does not want you hanging around in a room. No time to breathe. Oh, I'm still alive. I thought that was my last life. You have a 0 life in this game. That's nice. So I'm not really sure what changes about the game if you switch from hard from normal to hard or to easy. I've never played on the other difficulties. I would like to think that it's the same game, you just get a different number of lives or continues. I live in terror. I live in terror of a version of this game that has more or more difficult enemies. Because how? How is that possible? How would that be possible? Like, I would like to think hard just means you have fewer continues. But, that's probably not what it means. Oh.
Contestant 1.
Where's Patrick Swayze when you need him? Having the time of his life. Alright, I'll hang out here so you can see the thing that comes in to kill me. There it is. Sorry if you missed it. That's like a homing disc that chases. It just comes right for you to execute you. No standing around. Oh, I wanted those bombs. I want to get out of this corner. The invincibility. I just can't go anywhere. Where's my dunce cap? I do live in the corner. Hey, Yake! Thank you for the sub. Hey, that's very nice. Thank you for the 3 months. I really enjoy. I'm really grateful for how frequently you've joined us for the streams, and it means a lot to me that you would lend your support. It's hard. It's hard because I shouldn't be sad when I do badly because the game is like impossible, but I still am. I'm still sad. I want to be good at it. This right here, this boss. Oh my goodness! Have you never? Total Carnage is true. This guy right here is just the worst thing to ever happen to me. And the peanut, like you're supposed to use the peanut so you can hit his face, but like he gets under it. He gets under it. He gets too close to you. Then the peanut misses, and then what are you gonna do? I don't really understand how he works either, because like, see, he's got this protective shell around him, and you can destroy the units of it. And I don't know if that's mandatory. Like, I don't know if he can only be defeated by taking out the units of his shell, or if he's always taking damage no matter where you hit him, or... I just don't understand the mechanics of him. I suspect that his shell has to be eliminated, but I don't know that that's the case. If that's not the case, then I've wasted a lot of effort with that peanut. Well, that you have to eliminate the shell and then attack the face, like, separately. He does! He reminds you of Sinistar. That's what I think of, too. I've said that multiple times. He reminds me of Sinistar. When he comes in, I just expect him to say, "Beware, I live." Sinistar is legitimately scary to me. I haven't played that game a whole lot, but like, knowing that he's out there and can come for you at any time, very scary. The only hope for the peanut, yeah, is this, to stand in the corner and use the rebound. But when you do that, you are dead. As soon as it runs out, you're dead. There's no escape. There's no escape, no matter where you are or what you do. There's our last credit. Flux says, Sir Punksalot, thank you so much. Right on. Take a key for coming in, Flux. It's not over yet. Sorry if you thought it was over. It's not over yet. I think it's basically a full second round of exactly the same thing. See, he's still got a shell. You can see the pieces lighten up sometimes when I manage to make contact with them, and ugh. Why do I even want to like this game? It's so cruel. Didn't notice was dozing in and out of sleep thanks to Frownie soothes. Oh, that's it. That's it. I'm a goner. Put in my name. Frown. Oh. That's it. I only have 2 initials. Don't make me put in another one. I don't have a 3rd initial. B, where'd the B come from? I don't know how I went. I don't know how I. Whatever. It doesn't matter what I put in. So that's it. I mean, that's how my runs with this usually go. I can pretty reliably make it to the stage 2 boss. I can almost never defeat him. And I always leave feeling just completely ground to a paste. Alright, let me catch up on the chat that I missed before. The plot involves a wealthy celebrity named Master of Ceremonies who is hosting and competing in his violent game show in the not-so-distant future of 1999. Alright, well, we'll make another run at it. I don't expect it to go much better, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe something will click someday, and I'll suddenly become a master of this game. I didn't even see the second screen clear item that I picked up. I didn't even see it. It was obscured by a gold brick. Started playing Metroid Prime today since my Steam Deck arrived. Right on. I hope you're enjoying it. I thought that the Steam Deck might be worth picking up, but I've been sort of holding off because I don't have a lot of faith in Valve's hardware in general. It seemed like the Steam Box thing that they were doing several years ago, like, never really came to be a thing like it was supposed to. And the Steam controller is just terrible. Hardware-wise, it's an amazing piece of electronics. That's good to hear. About 3 hours in the game, but would really like to recommend it. It's on my to-do list. I think we're probably gonna play the GameCube version. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. I hear good things about playing it on the Wii, and I have both options. So, but it's not something I'm gonna do for a little while. So, but maybe next year. Maybe I'll try and do it early next year. I'll definitely try and do it before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. I'll try and do one before the fourth one comes out. At the very latest. Whenever that might be. Is this the only map? The map is generally the same each time you play. There's some randomization to it. I think the location of the bonus room is randomized, and the landmines in each room are randomized, at the very least. So while it's always similar every time you play, it's not identical every time you play. There's a sequel to this, and I've
Big money, big prizes. I love it.
and I've actually got it on the Super Nintendo as well, but I've never played it because, sort of like the PlayStation 2 version of this, I'm holding off on it. Ideally, until I can finish this one, but I kind of think that day may never come. If you like the look of this game and you want to play something very similar, but more reasonable in its difficulty, a little bit more anyway, well, a lot more, Galaxy Champions TV is an indie game that does basically the same thing as this, and I picked it up real cheap on the Switch. We played it on the stream. And it's a lot of fun for what it is. If you can find it for a few dollars, you can get a few dollars worth of enjoyment out of it very easily. If this kind of thing appeals to you. No! No, I died, and I died a footstep away from a 1-up. Worst game ever. It's so mean to me. It's literally a Linux-based computer. You can use it in desktop mode as a computer, or use it in Steam mode with the GUI. Yeah, I've looked at it. I've looked at the Steam Deck a little bit, but I've mostly had just sort of a wait and see approach to it. I'm rarely ever an early adopter of anything. I'm perfectly happy to wait to stand by and wait for most things until they become more cheap or better proven. Mostly got it for emulation, yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, it's appealing to me because it seems like it would offer a way for me to do PC games on the stream. Or yeah, or maybe to emulate things I don't have any other way of getting a hold of. Going to lurk mode, Sarek of Lamb says. See you next time. Thank you for the lurk. It's been great to have you here, as it always is, Sarek of Lamb. If I don't see you again, enjoy your weekend, my friend. Love you all the retro consoles and games, but just simply don't have the space since I live with my wife and have a 3 weeks newborn now. Congratulations. And no, building a large physical collection is definitely unreasonable for a lot of people's circumstances. One thing though, like I'm hesitant to get involved with anything emulation. One of the things that makes me hesitant about that is because, like, with the stream, like I frequently have people who ask me, when am I going to do X, Y, or Z game, which is, not bad that people are interested in particular games, but if it's something I don't have, like not using or being into emulation kind of gives me an excuse not to worry about things that I don't physically have, because I really want to focus on getting mostly playing through my physical collection. Like if I have something physically, I feel like it should be on my top it should be at the top of my priority list for things to play through. Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to hoard these games without ever playing them. Physical collection has its charm for sure. It's, I mean, it's nice. I like, I like physical things, and there are certain aspects that, where I'm attached to the feel of the old hardware, but, I would hardly go out of my way for most of the stuff that's in my collection today if I hadn't picked it all up so long ago. I will always, at the bare minimum, no matter what happens, I will always, at the bare minimum, have to have a collection that includes a CRT, a Super Nintendo, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. If I lose every other piece of my collection, I've got to keep those three things. I'm doing so much worse on this attempt. Like we're almost down to using a continue. It's not like completely hopeless, because we can get lucky in other areas, and turn things around. And there's always a chance. There's always a chance that I'm doing something wrong regarding the stage 2 boss, and I could at some point learn something and do it better. I don't think that's likely, but it isn't. But I can't say it's impossible. But it's a shame. It's a shame to be on a run that's so much worse than your previous one. It's a bit demoralizing. I knocked over my reset sword. Sorry for the potentially loud noise. I own a Nintendo GameCube and Switch with more games than I would ever possibly play in my life. Yep, that's kind of what I think about when I look at my walls. I'm like, how am I ever going to play all these games? And for all my talk about trying to prioritize making it through my physical collection, it really doesn't help with the project that I spend so much time replaying the same games. But what can I say? I like my challenges. Kind of the point, find games that you enjoy and keep enjoying. That's true. That's true. None of these things are real problems. It's just They're only problems in from the perspective of like where I have different, you know, desires that conflict with each other, but none of these are things to be upset about or to, you know, to really complain about. At least that's how I feel about gaming. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with sticking to the games you love, for sure. No. I do not believe, I mean, you can see my lasers bouncing off the sky. I do not believe there's any point at all to firing lasers at him. Other than that, I just always want to be firing at every possible moment when I play this. This game is a bit masochistic. Yeah, you got to be okay with struggling a lot to play this game. This game is punishing. I feel a lot better about my Dark Souls playthrough when I play this, though. It is fun. Like I complain about the struggle, but I don't know. I come back to it because when you're doing well, like those rare times when I'm like in the zone and really like doing well, it's very satisfying. But it doesn't happen very often. And I like the idea of the game so much. I like the gameplay. I like the sort of vibe that they're going for with the aesthetics and the sort of cyberpunk dystopian 80s future. I always kind of like the 1980s vision of future technology, that sort of like cassette punk aesthetic, where they thought that there were going to be spaceships with tape reels and DOS computers running on them. All the monitors are still those black and green text screens. And everything's just sort of bulky and beige and Does it have a narration? What's up with the TV show? So we're on, yeah, so the plot is that we're competing on a futuristic game show. We're competing in a violent, futuristic game show. And that's the, that guy that pops up sometimes is the host. And that's why, like, when I pick up the presents up there, on my score, it flashes, like, you know, like, top quality luggage set, magnificent, 30,000-inch television. So these are all of our, these are all the prizes we're earning along the way. You can get a toaster and VCRs. At some point, who knows what will happen? Bunch of flashing lights that make no sense whatsoever. Just terribly. I'm doing as bad as possible. Thank you for the hydrate, Yake. I think I'm gonna... I'll try and take care of that when I have a free moment. Right there would have been good if I hadn't wasted part of it thinking about whether or not I could take a drink. When we finish this level, it's probably gonna... Well, this is level 2. When I game over, I'll hydrate for sure. If not before, I might be able to squeeze it in between rooms. Here we go. Perfect. Level is tougher than the Kring boss. Yeah, the boss of this level too is like... I don't even understand how it can be so difficult. So you can play this, as you might be able to notice there, you can play this 2 players simultaneously, and I imagine that's gotta make it easier, right? I think the big trouble with this game is I think it is 100% made to be played with 2 players, and in no way was it ever a worry at all that the game should be beatable by one person. Yeah, I think they just made it. I think they just made it so it would be challenging for 2 players, and they didn't really care what the effect that would have on single player. Because I don't think it's any different. I think the game probably plays identically, regardless of your number of players. Which, I mean, fair enough, but it doesn't, because it doesn't really matter why the game is like it is, because it just is, so I gotta put up with it no matter what. But it brings me a little bit of comfort to think that maybe it's harder than should reasonably be expected of me. Yuck. I saw that shrapnel just a moment too late. These little guys here, they kind of remind me of Robotron now that I look at them. I haven't ever played much of Robotron, a little bit on the C64. But I think it's a game like this. It's supposed to be like a twin stick game. I've only played it on the C64, which naturally only has 1 joystick, but these guys kind of remind me of some of the characters from that. They also kind of remind me of football players. There's a sort of football armor quality to the way they look. I'm sad Smash TV isn't in Switch Virtual Console. Oh, I wish it was. I wish it was so that someone could play with me. We would 100% put on a playing with viewers tag, and I would have people jump in with me if this were on the Nintendo Switch Online. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It's like... sometimes you just feel like you must be trying to do bad.
10 seconds. Contestant 1.
Counting on my invincibility a little bit too much there, because you start off with an invincibility ring, and that blows up enemies, and like you wanna charge the enemies.
Total carnage. I love it.
I'm not completely devoid of strategy, because like there are a couple elements of like you want to position yourself near items and pick them up like before they despawn, so you can kind of maximize what you have on your way to another item. Like I understand that. There is a degree, at least probably, to which like, because like you don't go through every room on the map, so like you can kind of take different paths, and there must be a degree to like learning which rooms are optimal on the map to pass through with the least trouble. Which, while I don't know how to do, I can appreciate as probably something that would make my life easier if I did learn more about it. So, like, there are things that while I don't understand them, could someday potentially be explored and make the game easier for me. But it's certainly by no means guaranteed. But see, like, where I end up in this situation, like, right now, I don't know if I'm damaging him. I don't know if I'm damaging him or if I'm just pushing him against the wall. Like, I think I have to use the peanut to hit him in the face. It came right for me. Agent Frownie is... That was supposed to be sad. I missed the D. So while I've never beaten the game, one victory I have had was I did do well enough once to be at the top of that leaderboard. I did get the number one spot there once. Oh. Crushing. This game is crushing. I think maybe we will call it a day there, my friends. It's a little earlier than I thought I might stream until. But I'm kind of in this situation right now where I don't necessarily feel like I want to make another run at this game right now. And I don't really feel like there's enough time to fire up a different one. So maybe we will raid onto another channel. And just call it a night there might be the thing to do. But I thank you for being here. I hope that you've had some fun. I know it's been rough. Castlevania runs being a little ugly as they were, and this game being so impossibly difficult. But I have had fun, despite, may not seem like it. Playing games that make me cry, but it's been good. It's always, it's always nice to have a challenge, even when it's too much of a challenge sometimes. And we'll keep coming back to this. It's something that, we're not going to be doing reliably, regularly, but it's definitely something I want to throw on the schedule every now and then, and, take a couple tries at. Continue to stay as good at it as I can be, but not really worry about wasting too many hours sinking them into attempts. But we will continually come back to it, and maybe someday even defeat it. There's a lot of people streaming right now, and a lot of people that I don't usually have the options to raid. So that's a nice problem to have in some ways. So I'll send this off. I'm going to send this in the direction of Rush Pirate. I don't get to see Rush Pirate all that often. I mean, he comes over and joins us in chat frequently, but I don't actually get to catch his stream as often as I might like, so this will be somewhere fun to head off to. The title says he's doing looks like a variety night. He's playing some Half-Life right now, but I don't know what he may jump into as the night goes on. So let's go over and just see what's happening and hopefully have a good time. Probably won't be streaming Saturday or Sunday. I usually don't. There's a thin chance I could show up. I'll alert you in the Discord a little bit ahead of time if I do, but it'll be sort of a surprise, kind of spontaneous thing if it happens. I should be back by Monday night at the very latest, and then hopefully every weeknight next week around 11 p.m. Central Time and continuing until question marks. We'll be playing more things, more of our Castlevania run, more of them fighting herds on the Switch, more Dark Souls on the Switch, and probably we'll want to start up something else retro too in there. So a lot of potential. Hopefully I will get to enjoy your company again for some of those things. But that's all we have. Have a great night, buddy. Have a great night, Loyal. That's all we've got for today, my friends. Thank you one last time for being here. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.